In 2025, Ryan Coogler released the film Sinners, which immediately sets everyone buzzing over Black spirituality, colonial religion, and the reclamation of ancestors' traditions. For many, Coogler is a storyteller centered on Black identity seen in his previous work like Black Panther, Creed, and Fruitfield Station. However, Sinners is particularly bold because it distinctly engages with African diasporic spiritualities like hoodoo and root work. Sinners takes place in 1930s Mississippi amidst the height of the Jim Crow era, subjecting groups like the Black community to horrible living and working conditions. To earn a living, most Black people were working as sharecroppers, an occupation not far from slavery, not to mention the existence of the KKK, thriving now more than ever. After escaping an abusive father and serving in World War I, the Smokestack twins, working for Al Capone in Chicago, returned back to their hometown with the plan of opening up their own juke joint for the people in their community to unwind and have a good time after hours. Sammy Moore, also known as Preacher Boy, the Smokestack twins' cousin, sets on the twins' endeavor to sing at the juke joint. However, by doing this, he challenges his father, Pastor Moore's deeply religious beliefs by pursuing a frowned-upon form of secular music, the Delta Blues. The twins and Preacher Boy leave behind their troubled and undesired paths just to be met with an even greater evil. Sinners was created by Coogler as a means to uplift the spirituality of the African diaspora as moral authority, healing, and empowerment while questioning the dominant religious forces of Western Christianity. At the same time, the film asks viewers to question how power has historically been shaped through religion, abuse, domination, conquest, and colonialism. Yet Sinners does more than critique. It seeks to reclaim identity. It asks us to separate the rejection of a religion from criticism of how that religion was weaponized in colonial and historical contexts. Hoodoo and root working began with Africans who had been kidnapped and enslaved. They combined the indigenous American and European traditional cultures with their knowledge and belief systems of African culture to create hoodoo and root work. While some people may view these systems as superstitions, they were developed as healing and protective systems that allowed individuals to connect with their ancestors and resist oppression. As Gross United discusses in the article regarding how the film Sinners relates to Yoruba spirituality, these rituals are representative of deep cultural memory that has survived kidnappings and displacements, as well as attempts to erase the spiritual identities of enslaved people. Christianity was not passively presented to African-descended individuals. Rather, the doctrine has been used to justify enslavement, enforce obedience, and reshape identity according to European norms by missionaries, slaveholders, and colonial governments. According to Christopher S. Gurley, the film Sinners opens up a new conversation around Black religion and belief systems in a way that is not based on a European colonial power structure or interpretation of Black religions. Coogler shows that while Christianity has historically played a major role in the oppression of African Americans, he does not condemn it. Instead, he makes an example of it to show how the religion has been used to dominate various groups of people. In the film, figures or institutions of Christianity tend to come across as resistant to change or ignorant of the community's needs, and ineffective whenever spiritual support is needed most. In contrast, hoodoo and root work are represented with cinematic reverence. They are spiritually potent, ancestral, deeply moral, and connected to Black womanhood. Writing for Sinners Made Saints, Brito Cruz and Nicola Alexandra explained that the film reframed Black women's spiritual labor, once demonized under colonial Christianity, as sacred and authoritative. Their article contends that the film rewrote the narrative on Black womanhood and spirituality, showing hoodoo not as witchcraft, but as wisdom. Coogler uses symbolic imagery: herbs, candles, dirt, water, and ancestral altars. All these images emphasize that hoodoo is not exotic magic, but it's a living cultural inheritance. This cinematic choice pushes back against centuries of demonization. Does the movie risk alienating Christian audiences? Since Sinners focuses a lot on the oppressive uses of Christianity, some viewers may assume this insinuates that Christianity wholly has a harmful or inferior nature. Without showing the healing or liberatory aspects of Christianity, something many Black communities deeply engage with, the film is likely to feel one-sided. The way in which this material is presented may make Christian audiences, especially those who are Black, feel singled out or misrepresented or even dismissed altogether. Understanding this is essential, as Christianity has played such an important role as a source of hope, resistance, and survival for many of the ancestors of today's Black people. Sinners does not reject Christianity as a belief system. Instead, it critiques how Christianity was weaponized historically, a truth that cannot be ignored. And an article by Papakria for International Business Times UK supports this is by tracing how Hoodoo was criminalized and suppressed under Christianized colonial laws. The film is not asking viewers to renounce Christianity, but rather to address the atrocities of the past that were committed in its name. By centering Hoodoo and root work, Sinners helps reintroduce practices that were deliberately erased or demonized. Kugler reframes these traditions as sources of identity, empowerment, healing, and ancestral and cultural pride. The movie puts to question the assumption of Christianity as the default or superior spiritual framework. The film seems to question, what happens when suppressed traditions finally get to speak for themselves? Kugler opens the door for a wider, more complex explanation of Black religion, as Gurley's analysis alluded to. Instead of confining the Black spiritual identity to Christian discourses and practices, Sinners make space for multiplicity, heritage, and resistance.